You know, sometimes the name of a product just does not convey the excitement of the product. And we have something like that for you today.
It's called a rectangle pull card cutting die. Doesn't sound very exciting.
It doesn't.
But wait till you see what you can do with it.
It's amazing. Come play with us. Well, here it is, one little package. This is brought to us by Elizabeth Crafts, and Karen Burniston is the designer.
Right, she's got a whole line of pop-it-up cards, and they make these interactive cards, and this is the one we're looking at, the rectangle pull card.
Okay, so let's turn it over, and you can see the actual die cutting pieces,
Right.
and actually this part, so a little bit, go back a little bit, John. Yeah, because that's part of it too.
Right.
Okay.
And you can. There are separate little pieces. You want to separate them with like wire snippers.
Yeah.
It's real easy to get them apart. Take off those little nibs, and then you've got these separate pieces.
Okay. Before you do that,
That look like this.
that
Okay.
that can look intimidating.
Yes,
It can.
I agree, and
Okay.
I'll say that is pretty much what I thought when I saw it. I looked at this. Oh, that's kind of cute, and then turn it over and went, "What the heck is that?" And I was not
Confess.
real,
Confess.
I was not
Confess.
real enthused when I first looked at it. I've got to figure out how to do this, but they do have really good instructions here, and all of the designers that worked with this pretty much said, "Oh, okay, we'll try it, we'll look at it," and everybody thought it was a lot of fun afterwards. There are a lot of interesting things you can do with this.
Okay, now you can bring in what you want to do.
So here are the pieces when they are separated. The key component here is this one. This is the rectangle pull card mechanism for cutting. This
Maybe
is the cutting die you're going to use first.
Okay.
And yeah, there are a lot of other little elements. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 elements that all together, but maybe you'd like to see a card.
Let's see, just a basic card, and this, now you might think of a card going this way, and that's the way it shows on the packaging, which is perfectly fine. But this was done on a horizontal format. Now you can see this window. Now it's been backed with acetate, but there is an outer window and an inner window.
Right. So the rectangle portion was made with this piece, the rectangle pull-out cutting part.
Okay.
And then the window was created with that piece.
Right.
And I'll talk a little bit more about how to do that.
Okay.
But I'd like to show you the basic cut technique.
I want to open the card.
You want to open the card? Okay, do that.
Here's the card. You know, the project.
Okay.
Okay. This is on butterfly wings paper, and it opens like so. So that window, you know, kind of makes a flap as it opens.
Right. So you can see that the cutting die portion makes just this cut here.
Right.
It also scores a line here and here, or marks a line where you're going to fold it.
Okay.
And then if you add that additional cutting die in the center, then it will also create a window.
Now, just to give you, I mean, there are directions on the gallery, but this is on butterfly wings papers with on butterfly wings dazzles. And the reason why I tell you that is because the dazzles are part of the bundle. So they look like this and are absolutely gorgeous in the the gold pearl that has silver foiling, and it has the jewel dazzles. And
so you're going to create this pull-up card, this pull card.
So how do you do that?
And then you're going to add on the focals around it, etc.
Gotcha.
And how you're going to do that is you're going to start with that piece, that key component, and this card is using a regular blank, one of our blank cards, a 5-inch by 6.5-inch card. It's going to be sitting this way. So here's your score line. You know that you want the pull section, the rectangle pull, to be on this piece, on the top panel. And so you're going to take this cutting die, you're going to place the cutting edge, I can feel it, it's a raised surface on there, down toward the card, like so. And I want it on this half. I want it above the score line. And the important part to notice here are 2 little nibs, one there and one here on each side. Those are going to show you where to place this. You're going to place it right on that score line. Make sure the nibs are lined up with the score line. They're not going to cut there, they're not going to score, they're just for reference points, for alignment. You also want to center it on your card like this. You see, you're going to use this mark and that mark for how far apart you're going to put it. Align those up so you have about the same distance here and here, and then you're going to use some stencil tape to tape that in place. I'll tell you, after I cut it, I'll tell you what this part does. It also has a little cutting area here. I'll show you what that's for, but we're going to place some stencil tape at the top. One piece at the top, one piece at the bottom. That's really all we need. So now that's secure. I know that this is centered over the fold, and I've got this piece on the top half of my card because it's going to fold down that way. Okay, I've got my Cut and Boss embossing machine here.
And the reason we're using that is because our cards are 6.5 inches wide.
And that's a pretty wide base, and so the Cut and Boss is perfect for that. It'll hold wider than that. I think it's a 8-inch base, if I'm not mistaken.
It is 8.5 by 11 is what it will take.
And so I'm going to place this. The cutting die is on there. The cutting surface is toward the paper, and that's up. And then I place
this black piece. Did you mention that that's a magnetic?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's perfect for holding that metal cutting die down. I've got my platforms on there, my cutting platforms, and I place it into the Cut and Boss, and I let that run through. Look, I can do lots of other things while it's running through. Isn't that cool? So it's running through. I'm going to pull it out of the back, and when it does, we'll show you what it looks like, and it'll look something like
yeah,
that.
we need to be looking at something. Here we go.
So, it's nice that you don't have to do this. You know, this is perfect for people who can't do those big hand cranks.
Well, or who have other things to do while it's processing.
Right. Like
like
text
you.
or get on your phone, whatever you want to do. So here it is. I'm going to remove that platform here and move the Cut and Boss just a little bit. All right, turn it over. The cutting die is still there. I'm going to go ahead and remove the stencil tape. Okay, I think that was really sticky stencil tape. I'm not sure if that's okay.
Somebody may have put something else over on my table.
Okay, there's another one of that. That wasn't stencil tape. Be sure you use stencil tape because that was a little rough to get off. Okay, when I remove this now, you'll see that it made a cut here, which is our rectangle pullout. It made a score line at the top and the bottom, so that you're going to have to back out to see what I do. Then you're going to fold right along those score lines. You're going to fold the front part back.
Okay.
The center is already scored because you placed it right on that scored line of your card. So now it goes like that.
Now it did something else, you said.
And it did something else. It also put a little, like a U-shaped cut right here, so that when you close your card, you can move that, you can pop that up a little bit, and it'll keep your card closed.
And let me show you that on the card. So we'll get in close. Sorry, John, we're running you ragged. But that's that little tab. So if you want to use it, you can just cut along it after you've covered your card with paper, or do your die cutting after you've covered your card with paper, or you don't have to use it. You could just cover it with paper. So either way, but it is a nice little mechanism.
Right. So this is the way that Susan did that particular card. She had it on she placed the cutting piece right on the score line, right in the middle. She placed her paper on there first. Oh, I've got it upside down.
Yep, that way.
Like that. She placed her paper on there, she glued it in place, and then she placed that on the center line. She ran it through, it cut, and then after she cut, she was able to take the other cutting die, or you could do them at the same time, really.
Right.
You could tape that in place and do them both at the same time, and then you've got a cutout window, and then after you have that cutout window, you just place acetate within the window there to get the window.
And in the bundle, there's going to be a sheet of acetate, so that's good. The other thing I want to show you is on Susan's cards is that she used on Butterfly Wings papers as well as on Butterfly Wings scrapbooking dazzles. Now we call them scrapbooking dazzles obviously they're perfect for cards because they come on a larger format. This is an 8 inches by 9 inches.
Right.
But this is also going to be in the offer. So I thought it'd be nice just to point that out. So you can see that this is just a lovely card. It's
now
really
that you understand
pretty.
really how simple
Yeah.
it is. There was just, in fact, if you use them at the same time, you're just running through that through the machine just once if you put them together, and it creates that card.
Now let's see what else you can do with this cutting die. So here is our second card.
And I think this is just genius using the Artful Card Kit because you just add embellishments to that
And
rectangle.
look what happens.
That's great.
It's moving.
Okay.
There's something else going
There's something
on.
else going on.
Okay.
Within those cutting dies. This one, they refer in the instructions to this as a spinner. It does not spin around like this. I'm not sure why they call it a spinner, but it's really, for us, it's the pop-up part. I mean, the rectangle part pops up, but so does this little piece here. And when
So that's the piece that's going on right there.
When you cut a piece, it ends up looking like this.
Okay.
So if I can get it focused, if I can get you to look close, there are score lines on here. I really want you to see the score lines if I can. I'm going to turn it just right. There's a score line there. There's a score line right there at that center point there. There's a score line about halfway up, and then there are these angled edges.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you exactly how that's used. Once you've made your card, you open up your card. You're going to cut one of these. If you want to die cut one of these. You fold it along that score line in the center. Now you've got this angled piece, and you want it to sort of sit down like that or sit up like that. You just have to make sure that edge is even with the fold. I'm going to turn it so that it is. It will be glued right there. I would use Ultra Tape.
Yeah.
And then when it pops up, and I didn't have Ultra Tape on there. I thought I was going to. Oh, I've got an idea. I want to glue it in place or tape it in place. And you put it on those outer pieces. So about halfway down, there's a score line. You go from there out to the outer edge. And I would use Ultra Tape in this case.
You're showing the click and stick just because it's right here.
Right, because it's right here. And then in order to place this, you fold it in half.
Okay.
You make it so that that edge is just against this. If I hold this up like this, you can see you really want it to be against that fold, right
so
where
you
that
can
fold
really
is.
Choose wherever you want to place
Right,
that.
you can put it wherever you want. You can put it down here. It depends on where you want something to pop out. I'm going to set it there, and I'm going to push it down so that the other side is now stuck, and then I close my card.
Right.
To adhere it on the other side. Then when you open it up, you've got a pop-up.
Oh, it's going on those other two score lines.
And
I see.
then you can glue something on this side or on that side, and they will pop up, and you can hide them behind that square.
So like this. So this one, let's see if I can show.
It's taped on this side. You can
Right.
also put it on the other side for some other effects, and you'll see that with some of the other cards.
Very fun. What a nice little extra bonus. Okay,
so that's a fun little pop-up. You can make more than one.
This was using the gingerbread foil, just thinking ahead. You know, I know it's August, but...
and that was also using a regular 5-inch by 6.5-inch card, and 1 inch was cut off of the front of it so that you could have a little bit of a smaller card in that.
So in this case, the window wasn't done. It was just the larger shape.
So just use it without the window,
but you can
use
also
the little spinner.
Put things on the back side of it, which is very, very fun.
So that's another fun
More.
way.
Show me more.
Okay.
Okay. We have another, and this one is also opening like, two. Okay, we've got two of those little puppies. Okay.
And now so far you've seen it done on cards with that blank white card. This one was done on cardstock. So it starts off with a piece of cardstock.
Gotcha.
And the dimensions are on the gallery, it's listed. And so you've got one piece, you're going to score it, and I think that was about 3 inches from the end, but it'll say in the gallery. And Lene went ahead and put paper on the left side. But she didn't, let's see, did she put it on, she didn't put it on the right side, correct. So there's a reason for that. She put it on the left side.
Okay.
She went ahead and used the rectangle pull that made her cut. It also made that little cut right there. But because she didn't really want to use that to close it in this case, after she cut it with that little cut there, then she covered it.
She just covered
with
it.
the other piece of cardstock. Just to let you know that that's how she did that.
Okay.
And then kind of a neat thing is that I sort of figured out. If you look at the card, she used 2 of those pop-ups.
Right.
One at the top, one at the bottom.
Right.
Now, you can sort of see them, that they're pretty well hidden behind the leaves, but I thought, what if you didn't want to be able to see them? And if you want to sort of hide them, camouflage them with your paper, you make several of those, and then you take 2 of them that are the same color, the brown ones, you glue them together, okay? Then you take 2 of the green ones, cut them right at the center there, and glue them on the front and back. I'm going to do that. Grab my scissors.
Oh, so you're matching the paper that it's going to be against.
Right, I'm matching the paper.
Okay.
So once I have the brown ones
Of course you would think of this.
Yeah, this is simple. You cut the green ones right along that score line. It's
so
already
cute.
there. But this looks really cool. What if you wanted to put a piece of acetate popping up? You'd want to hide that little pop-up. And
He's trying to justify this, aren't you?
It is justified. You put green on the front and back. It ends up looking like this when it's done. So now you've got a half and half.
Okay.
And it would be glued together. It looks like this one's sort of coming apart. And then you fold it and you place it just like I said. You place it like that. And then when it pops up, it will be brown on the left, green on the right.
Isn't that
you'll be able to hide it.
perfect?
Okay.
Okie doke. You know she has an engineering background, folks, and every now and again it just pops up. And speaking of popping up, here we have
Nice segue.
the 2 leaves popping up. Very, very cute. Very nice. This also is out of an Artful Card Kit. This is out of cider.
So that's nice. You just have to add cardstock and that cutting die.
And more. Now, this I think is just really fun. So we have a shaped card. Now, I can certainly see where that cutting die is being used. And as I pop this up, wow, I've got balloons just...
Isn't that great? And
yes,
I love the shimmer sheets. They
fun.
look like Mylar balloons.
They
I just
do.
think that's a fun look.
And that's the shimmer sheets. This is actually a whole collection of them.
It's a sample set, sampler set. So they come in long sheets, or you can get the sampler set, which is small, which is perfect for this. And the design toolkit number 8 was used. That's a celebration kit, which has, I'm going to find a balloon in it. So it has that balloon shape that you're seeing, so use those to trace and cut out the balloons. Also, there's a label shape on the front that is within this toolkit. And even behind to sort of, when you open it up and the balloons pop up, then they sort of go right over that little, right, that's part of the design toolkit as well. So these shapes were used for that, to sort of showcase that.
Now the other thing that I'm seeing is this curly Q, and I'm wondering about that.
That is one of the die cuts. So here's the little die cut. It is the cutest thing. It's like a little string, or it's like confetti, and it was used to cut the string for the balloons that you're seeing.
For all of them. And I'm really surprised how sturdy it is.
Right. Even if it's paper, they pretty much just stay right where you want them, and that's with the shimmer sheets that was cut. So that's the fun look you're getting there. But I also love how well it goes with those dazzles.
And this is the birthday decorate with dazzles. So this is giving you all kinds of fun elements to combine with these, as well as the words happy birthday.
Right. So real quickly, the way the papers were put together for this, if you open it up, it's starting with 2 pieces of paper that were glued together. So I had one big piece of paper.
This is Sweet Life.
Let's say that it was a rectangle before I did that. And this is from Sweet Life, and I glued a strip of the stripe down at the bottom. And the measurements for this are in the gallery. And then I used the design toolkit to start cutting, and I traced and cut away the left edge. I also did the same on the right edge, and it's a lot easier if you do it on the back, trace and then cut it out. So once you have that, then you mat it on pink cardstock.
And then just recut.
Right, and then you score it down the center, then you place this with those little nibs right on that score line, and then you start working with it. Very simple.
Exactly, the same process.
Right.
And we just have one of the little platforms that's moving for us, but very fun action going on. Well, we have more, believe it or not. Look at this. Now, here is another horizontal presentation, and this is going to jump up, and wow, lots of things are going.
Great! It is so much fun to use die cuts to decorate. This one was actually put behind it, so it's popping up behind and mostly hidden behind it, and then there were some die cuts on the front to hide whatever part of that bike did not hide.
Now this is using the Gypsy Jewels papers, but also the Gypsy Jewels paper toll. So which are already die cut, so you can see that pennant on the front, and you can see this little award, and then on the inside we've got another award, and we've got the bicycle, which fits perfectly, and it's really a nice size little bicycle. You can see it right there. So many different elements, and then you're going to have some things left over too.
Right.
So. But that is
a super fun card. I do.
Very
Isn't
cute.
that great? I love that. Now there's those little pieces. That's just on paper.
I am astounded by that.
And then two little die cuts were sandwiched around the end of it.
And you see the pop-up piece. I am
Did you see the
amazed.
postage stamp? Did we talk about that?
We
yet?
did not talk about that.
Okay, so the little postage stamp out down there.
Okay.
Two more of the die cuts. You
Part of
have
the set.
Part of the set. It's all comes together. So this one's
I can't do it.
You can use this piece that will cut out the center and this outer frame, and then you can use this piece to cut another one to back that piece, and that's what you're seeing on the card.
So that's that little one that's going to, and I love the strategic placement, so you can see.
And that's really something that you have to think about when you're doing this. If you want something hidden behind there, don't stick anything down until you know where it's sitting. Sort of shove it behind there and then open it up and go, oh, that's where it's going to be, and then sort of tape it in place.
It's nice to have that as a separate piece. And
I love the banner up here that doesn't really get caught up with the, when it opens up, it doesn't really get hit by anything.
It doesn't.
That's great.
That's very neat. So very charming, absolutely amazing. and we're not done yet. We have, I do want to say, because they're in the bundle offer, this has the inside-out greeting dazzles.
Inside, outside. There are 3 different finishes on there, so they're great for lots. I use these all the time.
And so we've got the happy birthday, and we've got the celebrate, and so the idea is you've got something for the front of your card and for the inside. Inside, outside.
Also got little bits like birthday candles and stars. So
yeah.
that matches it
anyway, just want you to see that. And
okay,
I love this. Absolutely love it.
That you love this card. This was so fun to figure out. Now I did have to sort of figure out how to do it, but now it's all figured out for you.
Okay, warning, Gail did it. Engineering, Gail did it.
Hey, but it's easy and it's so fun. After you know how to do it, it's very easy.
So it's your birthday. I think it's wonderfully stunning in black and white. I see a little smile peeking
These are like
through.
chalkboard friends.
Yes, so it's your birthday. Oh, wow.
Okay, but do it one at a time now.
Okay,
That's great.
so we'll do that.
Do the
and
left
then
side.
Smile, she's showing you her chalkboard.
And then pull the right side.
And then pull the right side, and she's going, yippee! And she even says hooray.
So this is using this little window.
Oh, I love it.
This one that was for backing the stamp, I used to create little windows. And that makes it so that you can see the progression of what's going on as you're opening it.
Okay, that is just absolute.
Okay, black cardstock and strategic placing of these pieces. So look, you want to
I just wanted to show the stamp. This is Janie's girl stamp. So
it was so much fun choosing
there's the hooray.
Who was going to go where.
Yeah,
on
she's
this.
holding the sign that says smile.
Right. And I embossed those on the chalkboard papers, and so it was really fun. So that they just
there's
really
the smile.
pop. There's smile.
Okay. Okay. Show us.
Okay.
Bring in your
I did
cardstock.
computer journal the front. It's your birthday. That was computer journal.
Okay.
Because that doesn't come with a set. But the way that was started was with a piece of cardstock, and I figured out right where I was going to have to put these things. So that's all written down in the gallery. It's a 10 5/8 inch by 6 inch piece of black cardstock, and then I put a score line 3 3/4 inches from both edges, from this edge and from that edge.
Okay.
And so once you do that, once you score it, it's ready to fold, and that's how the card's going to fold, but you're going to have to cut your rectangles on both sides. And before I show you that, I do want to show you the paper that I created. This is how it starts. From the chalkboard paper pack, you'll see this all around. All you have to do is cut the bottom piece and the top piece. You cut these two strips, and then you put them together like that.
You just overlap them?
Right, you just overlap them, you glue them together, and then you get a piece where you can cut the left panel, cut the right panel, and the center for placing on your cardstock.
Okay, so they're 3 separate pieces.
Right,
So
it's going to look like this once
gotcha.
you're done. I've got that extra piece right
It'll
here
go in
that
the
goes
middle.
on the center. So before I did any of the cutting, I did this. I created those pieces of paper that would have that border that went all the way around.
Okay.
I didn't put the center in yet, and I'll show you that. But I am going to
actually,
cut
it's
this
nice
so that you can
because
see it.
even handling it, I'm not aware of that.
Yeah,
It
there's a seam right there. But
I'm
you
so
don't really.
enthralled with how this card works.
I thought maybe I'd put dazzles on it, but it didn't need it. And so this is ready to go. I've got my score lines here and here, and we're going to cut this so that I can show you how this was done. Do
Okay.
we have time for that? Okay.
Whatever you want.
All right, so there's my little nibs at the top and the bottom. Wow, I should take advantage of that.
I know.
Center. Oh, we're going to center it on that panel. So remember, I want the same distance from this edge to the top as this edge down to the bottom. And we go ahead.
And you're not putting paper on the center, I bet, because you're not going to take advantage of
Right.
that.
I don't really want to use that because it gets
Yeah.
kind of difficult with everything that's going on with the pop-ups. So I'm going to not use that. So we do this twice.
Okay.
We do it once on this side, once on the other side.
Okay.
So let's get this
We're going to do that, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
I've got the cutting die face down. I'm going to, so now the cutting
it
die
over.
is face up. It's toward the cardstock.
Because we don't want to be cutting the metallic shim, the magnetic
so
shim.
always put it face up,
Yeah.
and you won't forget. I've got it in the machine. There it goes.
Yeah, let's bring the machine in.
There we go.
This is an automatic one, and the benefit, of course, is on your hands,
Right.
and that it will take an 8.5 by 11.
Right.
So-
The other part about the card that I thought kind of made it easy to do was that I stamped and embossed each one of those separately on the black paper, and that way I could cut them out individually. And so that's
and position them how you wanted
so that's
them.
how we did that.
Okay.
So that's really the only cut I'm going to do, but just to show you that once you've cut one side, let's pull, oh, you can't even hardly see it on there. Turn it over. Once you've cut this side, then you remove the cutting die and place it on the other side.
See, I actually had stencil tape this time.
Right, you did. Okay, so now you've got it on this side, and don't forget it does make these little score lines, so now I can fold it back this way.
Okay.
And I already have that scored, so I fold it this way. And that is the left side of my card.
Then you would just do the exact same thing on the right side.
You notice how
Yeah.
we turn on this side it was here, we turn it around on this side, it is here. So we'll do the same thing, and then you'll have that same piece on the right. And you'll also have those little cut marks for popping up, but we're just going to cover that with that little piece of paper. So then it will be covered with that.
Okay,
and we
just
won't have
line
to worry
that up.
about that. And after you've done that, then I would place the window. You're going to put a window.
Oh,
Then you
okay.
now it again with a window down here in the bottom left
Now,
corner.
you could have cut that at the same time, right?
No, because
No?
it would have hit the thing. It sort of gets in the way.
Oh, okay.
So I will do it separately, and then you would do it
Okay.
again. There will be a window up here, which will actually look like this because it'll be on the right, and you'll put it up at the center. And then it looks
Okay.
like the card that you're seeing.
Okay, so you can see. Let me lay this out.
That sound like a lot
Sort
of
of like-
instructions, but did you notice each step was really simple?
And you're repeating the same thing, so that's
Right.
really helpful. But what I
Right.
love is that the design team did something more with every single card, and I love that. Now you also use those strings,
Right.
To
I just cut different kinds
Yeah.
of paper, different colored paper.
Fun.
I will suggest in the stamping and embossing right here, do that on the paper separately before you put it here. You don't want to heat this card up because it might like warp a little. I like to do it separately.
Yeah, and so this time our little piece is on the right-hand side.
Right.
So
very simple just to place
absolutely
that,
darling.
make sure that she's behind the window.
Okay,
I
amazing.
love the little tag. Oh, we didn't,
Oh.
I have to show. There are two other
Oh,
elements.
thank you. Very good.
Two other cutting dies. One is this little, very tiny arrow.
Right there.
Yeah,
Very
there's the
good.
arrow. And a tiny little tag. And I actually
Oh.
masked off some of the words on the stamp so I could just get love on the tag. And she's got like a little mini pearl tag.
Cute. Very good. Well, that's a lot of creativity from one cutting
die set that seems intimidating, but really ends up being a lot of fun. We all loved it by the time we were done with it.
Good job, Karen. Thank you, Elizabeth Krause, and thank you, design team. And we'll see you next week.
See you then.